If tea is not your bag and coffee is what you seek, then it's just a flick of the wrist away. The perfect cup of espresso is not just in the ingredients, but must come from the love of making it. These three should know. They're three of the top 10 baristas in this year's New Zealand Barista Championships.
I'm quite passionate about coffee. I'm willing to go extra mile when it comes to working in the coffee industry.
Barista, a lot of people mistaken them as coffee makers. A barista needs to understand not just how to make a cup of coffee, but they also need to learn the basic history, the cultivations, the process of coffees, how they're grown, how they're roasted.
This joy, happiness, it can deliver to people, even though the language could be a barrier. But by delivering this cup of coffee to them, they can feel exactly the same thing as we've spoken to them.
Making the perfect cup of coffee is not just about taste, it's also about the presentation. This is what's called latte art.
Now, I'm not going to touch your hand, but don't pour too slow. Just
quick.
Pour, yeah, nice and steady. Yeah, look at that. And we have almost a heart. Excellent.
I can be a barista.
Yeah, you can be a barista, but would you like to give up your day job and come and work for us?
If I wanted to do that, there are more skills required to become a good barista. This is what's called cupping.
As a barista, if you are making coffee in a cafe, you only get to taste the coffee blend, which was already made by the roaster. But once you do the cupping, you get to know the individual taste profile from each producing countries. When you slurp, you get a nice aroma of coffee just coming in your mouth, and then so you can feel the aroma as well as taste, which lasts on your palate later on. Once again, it's just like wine tasting, if you like to put it this way. So,
if you look at it, coffee has always been the center of all kinds of civilizations, especially Western civilizations. So in that case, not understanding the culture is just not going to help you to get that job.
It's all about passion. David made a decision to become a full-time barista halfway through his commerce degree, and he's never looked back. He's now a co-owner of a busy cafe in Auckland, and he teaches the art of coffee making at the Manukau Institute of Technology.
You can roast them at home. You will notice that Asians in these recent years have taken lots of interest in learning more about coffee or cafe operations. So I think these courses provide the groundwork for them to sort of take their first step into learning more about this industry and learning more about coffee.
And Frank, who graduated with a bachelor degree in information and technology 2 years ago, chose to become a barista and withdrew from his honors program.
My parents' reaction at the very first place, they were strongly opposition to what I decided to do. They would just feel like, paying for all your education fees, while all the other people, they don't get the same thing, but you decide to go being a barista. And that's something they can do before you go to university. It's a dream that haven't been spoken, but I thought there was time there to actually make it actualize.
While Frank's parents might not agree with his decision, others say coffee is good business.
I think it is a good business. It's a really interesting product because people really identify with it. And I think the boutique side of the coffee business is growing.
Roasting their own coffee is one way David and his business partner set themselves apart, by paying attention to the subtleties of taste.
Studies from around the world show that coffee is a good source of antioxidants in diet. It is claimed that moderate consumption of coffee can reduce the risk of developing gallstones and diabetes.
Usually, I drink 4 cups of coffee. Mind you, it's just an espresso, no milk, no hot water, just a pure espresso. 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon.
I usually have about 3 or 4 cups of coffee every day, and just to keep me awake.
Once I cannot taste coffee anymore, I had enough. Some days I might have 3, 4. Some days I might have up to 8.
So, next time you have your shot of caffeine, remember all the effort the barista has put in to kickstart your morning.